Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today we are doing the Gameweek 35 episode of 100 Experts to see what the top FPL managers are doing with their transfers, captaincies and chips for Gameweek 35. So if you do enjoy this one, guys, please do drop a like, do subscribe if you are new around here. But without further ado, let's meet our experts. So here on screen we have 100 FPL experts, pundits and content creators. We're going to see what they have been up to this week, but a massive shout out to these guys. Make sure you go check them out if you see their names anywhere. They really do help out the channel, this series, and you guys and me so much. So a massive appreciation to all of them. Of the 100 experts managers, 23% are making one transfer this game week, 6% are making two transfers, there's no one making three, there's no one using wildcards, free hits or any other chips, so this is not a good game week to play your chips. Nobody is playing any chips whatsoever, and 71% are not making a transfer this week. So I believe that is a record for the 100 Experts series of amount of people not making a transfer. Absolutely crazy. I don't really know how to feel about that one, other than I guess it suggests that maybe it's not a good week to make a transfer unless you really need to. And maybe, guys, we should be thinking about rolling our transfers. But there are still a few examples of transfers that are good ones to make, which we'll show in this video. And we've got captaincy to cover as well. So let's have a look, first of all, at the overall transfer trends in FPL. So the most popular Gameweek 35 transfers in the world are Wilson, very much out on top here. Rashford, Purpose of Stupinian, Ødegaard is up here as well, and then a few other players slightly lower down the list. But the numbers for this stage of the week, I'm actually recording 100 Experts a little bit later than I usually do in the week to see if there was more kind of ideas of what people were going to be doing, if more transfers would be made. But it doesn't really seem to be a week where many people are making transfers in general. There is some caveats to this one, which we will be discussing very shortly. But what I will say, guys, is that we have got a very few amount of players being transferred in, but we have got a couple of favourites. So Wilson, Rashford, and Stupinian. So let's see if this matches up with our expert data. Well, to a degree, yes. Wilson, Rashford, Isak slightly further down, and Dalot. All four of these players are reasonably popular among our experts as well. So our experts do like these four players, but there is one player who is missing from this list that our experts really like as well that hasn't been mentioned on screen or in this video so far. There are a few players that there are no interest whatsoever. So Ødegaard, Mings, Stone, and Pascal Gross. None of our experts are bringing in any of these players. In fact, some of them are actually selling some of these players as well. I feel like a lot of these players are kind of the case. If you already have them, then okay, great, fine. If you don't have them, then you're probably a little bit late to the party here. You probably wouldn't want to be bringing them in at this point. I know why people are bringing them in. You know, Ødegaard, you know, scoring 2 goals in a game. I know people are going to knee-jerk towards him. Pascal Gross, same situation. John Stones, if you have him already, great. If you don't, then I don't think you need to get him. Tyrone Mings there as well. One good fixture left for him, really, in terms of our defenders with that Wolves game up next. But after that, you know, there's not really too much going on for Aston Villa. So maybe these four players are not the ones to go for despite their popularity. So our experts are selling Diogo Jota and Ollie Watkins. These are the two most popular sales. So yeah, that's something to note. Diogo Jota punt didn't really work out, and he seems to have kind of had a reoccurrence of his back injury, and it's really a doubt whether he's going to be available to play a lot of minutes going forward, or maybe he's kind of slightly fallen out of favour potentially there. Ollie Watkins, a couple of blanks in a row maybe means that he is being transferred out as well. Aside from that, we've seen some Arsenal midfielders being removed. Obviously, they don't have any double game weeks remaining in the season, and also they play Newcastle next, which is kind of a little bit tough there as well. A few people bringing out Grealish as well. Really, a lot of people expecting him to be benched or rotated in this next game, so he is fit and ready to go for the Champions League football on Tuesday. So we could see a rotation for Grealish, and a couple of people removing Botman, which I think is quite interesting because I'm pretty sure I know the reason, and it's because people are trying to free up one of their Newcastle slots so they can go in on a Newcastle attacker next game week for the double game week. So maybe a few people doing that, removing Botman to try and free up a Newcastle spot. I don't hate it as long as you've got a decent kind of defensive replacement. In terms of transfers in, well, here we go, guys. This is the player who has not been mentioned yet so far, and that is Julian Alvarez. 5 people planning on transferring him in, and I can actually add to this a little bit and say that even more people, even though they said initially they would roll their transfer, they also caveated that by saying, okay, if we get early team news and we can see the likes of Alvarez is starting, or, you know, Mahrez or Foden, and we are hoping to get early team news this week, to be fair, because Man City play the earliest fixture possible. 3 p.m. is the early fixture in the UK time anyway. So yeah, we're going to hopefully get Man City early team news. And if Alvarez is starting against Leeds at home, he's going to be very, very good to own, very captainable. Some people are committing and saying, yes, I'm going to get Alvarez. Other people are saying, I'm going to wait on him. I'm going to roll. I'm telling you, Dan, I'm going to roll the transfer, but if Alvarez is starting, I am going to buy him. So that's something to consider there. A couple other players who are still worth considering bringing in. Rashford here. If you don't have him already, he is a priority transfer. Even if you kind of like the idea of rolling a transfer, I would say Rashford is so important that you need to get him in pretty much immediately. Callum Wilson here as well. A lot of people going in on him. And then outside of that, we've got Dalot, Isak. So a few people preferring Wilson to Isak, but there's not too much in it. And then that's pretty much it. We've got Eze there at the bottom. But, I mean, yeah, we're not very many transfers by that point. So, yeah, Alvarez, Rashford, Wilson, these seem to be the primary transfer targets for this game week. Hopefully, you guys already have Rashford. If not, then maybe you want to game him in. Let's have a look at some suggested transfers. All right, so first of all, Diogo Jota. If you have him and you are not convinced by him, and I think I'm probably in that category, switching him to Alvarez or Wilson seems like a reasonably good idea. Wilson for the nice double game week next week, and Alvarez for the potential haul. You know, particularly if Erling Haaland is rested after finally breaking the goal-scoring record, maybe needs to be rested for the Champions League. If Alvarez starts up front for Man City at home against Leeds, that could be absolutely mega. So Diogo Jota to Alvarez, if you find out, you get the early team news, Alvarez is starting, then I would just do it. I feel like that is a really good transfer, and I think the experts really would probably agree with me on that one. Watkins to Alvarez is also an option potentially there, but if you don't like the look of Alvarez, you don't want to keep him long-term, you want someone a little bit more long-term in your team, or you want to plan for future game weeks, or, you know, Alvarez doesn't start at the weekend, we find out he is benched for whatever reason, then Diogo Jota to Wilson could work as well. You could also technically do Watkins to Wilson. You could maybe go for Isak if you prefer Isak to Wilson, but Wilson's kind of goals per minute, his attacking ability per minute is just so phenomenal right now. I think there is just a slight bias towards Wilson if you can afford him. And in fact, one of our experts even said, I'm going for Isak, but that's only because I can't quite afford to go for Wilson. So that is definitely something to consider. Martinelli or Saka or whoever you have as your Arsenal midfielder to Rashford seems pretty obvious if you haven't got him in your team yet. Grealish potentially to Rashford as well if you maybe want to free up a Man City slot, or you are not convinced Grealish is going to start, or you find out Grealish isn't starting for the early team news, then that's also going to be a pretty good move as well. And finally, I've put on here Botman to Dalot. If you are looking to free up one of your Newcastle slots with the intention of bringing in a new Newcastle forward next game week, then maybe you need to remove Botman now and remove him for someone like Dalot, who could be a pretty nice kind of a slightly attacking Man United defender to own, who are also keeping clean sheets at the moment, which is pretty good. Finally, Captaincy. This is a bit of a landslide, I think, if we are completely honest, because Erling Haaland is absolutely dominating the numbers, 93%. That is really, really significant. So, assuming Erling Haaland is starting, everyone is going to be captaining him. It is absolutely insane, and it's not one that I would ever want to bet against. But a few people are betting against Erling Haaland for whatever reason. So 4% on Salah there. It's okay. I guess Brentford at home is not the worst fixture in the world. You know, if you can get a couple of penalties from Salah, then you're probably going to be in the money. Alvarez there, 1%. I guess I understand this one, particularly if Erling Haaland is not starting. We find that out. Alvarez captaincy actually looks really, really good, and it's something I genuinely feel like I might do myself if I find out Haaland is not starting. Captaincy straight on Alvarez. I think that could be absolutely class. We have got McAllister and Mitoma here as well. I don't know why, other than the fact that they're playing Everton at home. It's a good fixture. Brighton score a lot of goals. You could get lucky with McAllister penalties, I guess. Mitoma has been pretty decent as well, but I mean, overall, I don't love those captaincy shouts, really, but they're 1%ers at the end of the day, guys, and what do we think of 1%ers? Well, they are lunatics, but at this stage of the season, with 4 game weeks left, there will always be a lot of people taking these big risks to try and do something a little bit different and try and get a little bit lucky, particularly if they're not happy with their current rank or they're trying to beat a mini-league rival. Sometimes you do have to make a bold move, and it seems like a couple of our experts are doing exactly that this week. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Slightly shorter than usual just because, you know, a lot of people are rolling their transfer, so I didn't want to overdo it. And we also did upload another video earlier today, just in case this experts video was not quite as good as it usually is. So, yeah, double upload day today. Go check out the differentials video I made earlier today. It's a pretty good one, I think. But, yeah, aside from that, guys, do let me know if you are going for any strange and mysterious and wonderful captains this week. I'm always interested to know what kind of wacky moves some of you guys are making. But aside from that, drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.